Hello YouTube, my name is Maddie and you're watching Maddie's Average Life, where I do average things in hopes that it will entertain you. Today we're going to talk about me. More specifically, what I was like when I was a little kid. So this one I don't think is that weird. I think there was probably like a lot of kids that thought this. If not, I don't know. I just think it isn't that strange. When I was really little, I was probably like 1 to 3 or 4 maybe. I lived in a pretty rural area. That word is really hard to say, by the way. Rural. But we had a lot of open fields and like places where you'd plant food, raise livestock and stuff, and we would always drive by them, and there was these giant white marshmallows in the middle of the field. And I legitimately thought they were marshmallows at the time, not knowing that they were just like bales of hay. I legitimately thought that they were marshmallows that they fed to the horses and the cows that lived on these farms. And one day my dad told me that they weren't marshmallows, and I cried because I was sad that the horses didn't get marshmallows. So when I was probably like 9 or 10, I had one of those tiny little like iPod shuffles, like, you know, mine was green. It had like the 4 buttons. You could change the song and the volume, and it didn't even have a screen. You couldn't watch videos on it or anything. It held like 300 songs. Yeah, that was my life. One of these things, and I had the little headphones that came with it and everything, and I would put it in my pocket and sneak it to school. And I remember when I was in like 4th grade or 5th grade, I would have days where I would put in the headphones that came with the little iPod, and I would walk around the perimeter of the playground by myself and sing that one really depressing song from like Alvin and the Chipmunks, the one that's like, you had a bad day, you take a one that, yeah, that song. I would just listen to it on repeat as I walked really slowly and sang it to myself. Like, I would sing it out loud. I wouldn't just listen to it, I would sing it as well and walk around, and that was when I thought I was depressed. So when I was like 3, my favorite movie in existence ever was not a good little Barbie movie, not like a little cartoon like Disney, like a princess movie. No, my favorite movie was What About Bob, like the one where the guy goes sailing and he stays with his like therapist.
Mom, and guess what? Ahoy! I sail. I'm a sailor. I sail. Isn't this a breakthrough? I mean, that I'm a sailor?
Like, it's an adult movie, yeah, but no. 3-year-old me, I would sit in front of my TV, and it was my favorite. It was the only thing I ever wanted to watch. Like, anytime anybody would ask me what I would want to watch, I would just scream Bob, because it was my favorite movie. I was in love with Bob. I wanted to be Bob. I wanted to marry Bob, but I knew every single word to this movie as a 3-year-old. Like, I didn't know how to spell my name. I couldn't write the ABCs, but I knew every word to the What About Bob movie. So when I was like between the ages of probably 2 and 4, I went to this daycare in this lady's house. Her name was Amy, sweetest lady ever. She put up with a lot from all these children. She really liked me because I was good and I would help out, and I was a pretty good kid, besides the fact that I didn't like nap time. But little did she know that mini Maddie, little me, well 3-year-old me, we had these little plates, and each plate had a different animal on them. I think they were called Zoo Pals. I think, if I can find a picture, I'll put it there. But yeah, when I was little, I was obsessed with frogs. And there was frog Zoo Pals, like the plates, but there was never very many of them. There was only like 1 frog plate in the stack of all of the cows and elephants and dolphins and pigs. And as soon as I saw her get out those plates, I would sneak into the kitchen and take the frog plate, so I'd count like 3 kids in, and then I'd make sure that I was the 3rd kid in line so that I got the frog plate every single time, because I'd hide it in the stack. And I don't know how 3-year-old me knew to do this, but I give myself props because I got what I wanted, and I thought up that plan all by myself. And then this last thing, or last few things, all have one topic in common: imaginary friends. So a lot of little kids have imaginary friends, like it's a normal thing, but my imaginary friends were very out there. Like, when I was younger, I had a pack of horses, and the pack of horses, I didn't have real horses, obviously. I had a lot of fake horses that I could see. Like, I could see them, and if anybody told me otherwise, they were wrong. Like my horse Syrup the horse and Haha the horse and Jackson the horse, they existed. And not only did they exist, they pulled our car. Our car was actually had horsepower. Like, I think that's where it started. I think that's where, because I didn't have the horses around with me all the time, it was only when we were in the car and only when we were traveling places. So this horsepower was actual horses to 4-year-old me. And then I had a second imaginary friend. It wasn't really imaginary, it was just a inanimate object. My grandpa is a construction worker, and he had this like big clamp thing, like, you know, a clamp, and they would put it on the swing that they had on their back porch, and I had full-on conversations with the clamp. Like, I don't know what we talked about, but I would talk to that clamp like it was my best friend. I had other children to talk to, but I wanted to talk to the clamp. And if I went on the swing and that clamp was not there, and I went to the drawer that I would tuck him to bed in and he was not there, listen, I think my grandparents had to like buy a new one. If Clampy was not in the drawer and Clampy was not on that string, his name was Clampy, by the way, all hell broke loose. Like, I had to know where Clampy was. And then the best and most sentimental to me of all is Albert the alligator. My grandpa, bless his heart, my grandpa would pretend that he was a different animal for me every single day. So he was Papa Pig, he would like get down on all fours and like snort like a pig and chase me, and then I'd like scream and laugh and run away. Yeah, that didn't end well. The alligator was the only one that stuck around for more than a day. And let me tell you, this alligator, my grandpa, Albert, went everywhere with me. He had this fake voice that he'd use that only my grandpa is capable of making and speaking in. And Albert used to come to the grocery store with me all the time and play hot lava on the little squares. Needless to say, I wasn't like a little kid when this was going on. I was like 7. Like when you shouldn't have imaginary friends, especially not imaginary friends that are your own grandpa. I have like distinct memories of like playing hot lava with my grandpa and like almost running into people and like getting locked in dressing rooms because, and then he would just blame it on Albert like it was okay, like it wasn't actually my grandpa, it was this alligator that somehow like took over his body. I don't know. That was quite interesting. That's it for this week's video, guys. If you want to give it a big thumbs up or a small thumbs up, you can. Any size thumbs up will make my day a little less average. I'll see you guys at some point in time in the near future, maybe next week, maybe not. I still don't have a set uploading schedule. If you want to comment below and make me feel better about being a weird kid, tell me some of the stuff you did, that's cool. My social media will be linked below. And subscribe. Yeah, I think that's all. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!